Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through some of the problems on the 3B assignment. First one's number 2. If f of x equals 3x minus x squared plus 2, find the value of f of 0. So really what we have here is we got f of x is 3x minus x squared plus 2, right? Now what they're asking us to do is say what's f of 0. So if you'll notice, the only difference here is the x is now turned into zeros. So up here, these x's are also going to turn into zeros. So I see that x, that's going to be a 0 now, minus 0 squared plus 2. That's 0, that's 0, so f of 0 is 2. Okay, for this one over here, f of negative 3. So again, I still have f of x equals 3x minus x squared plus 2. So now I want f of negative 3. So that's going to be 3 times negative 3 minus negative 3 squared plus 2. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 3 squared is positive 9, and then you got to take the opposite of that, so that's negative 9 plus 2. So that means that f of negative 3, negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. Okay? Number 4, the graph of y equals f of x is shown alongside. Find f of 2. So basically f of 2, since you have the graph, all you want to do, this is the function of x. So that means we want to know when does x equal 2. So x equals 2 right here. So we go up to the graph right there. So f of 2 is going to equal 1. Okay. Find the value of x such that f of x equals 4. So if you remember the function of x, this really is the same thing as y. So we want to know when does y equal 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where y equals 4. That's right here at this point, which goes down right here at negative 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's when, find the value of x. X has to equal negative 4. Okay? All right. Number 6. Suppose f of x equals 1 minus 3x and g of x is square root of x plus 5. Find x such that f of x equals g of 4. So first off, let's find out what g of 4 equals. So g of 4, basically what we're going to do here is we're going to put 4 in wherever we see the x, right? So g of 4 then is going to equal the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, so now it says find x such that f of x, the function of x, equals g of 4. So we know g of 4 equals 3. So we want to know when does f of x equal 3. The function of something is really when does y equal 3. So, or look right here, f of x, we now know that this 3 is right in that spot there. So we have 3 equals 1 minus 3x, and now we're just going to solve for x. Subtract 1 from both sides. 2 equals negative 3x. Divide by negative 3. And we know that will work when we get x equals negative 2/3. Okay? All right, next one here. If f of x equals 7 minus 3x, find in simplest form f of a and f of a plus 3. So again, we have f of x equals 7 minus 3x. Now we want to know what's f of a. So really all we're doing here is wherever we see x, we're now going to turn it into an a. So it's 7 minus 3 instead of x, 7 minus 3a. That's the, and you can't simplify that, so we're good to go. Okay, this one here, f of x is 7 minus 3x. So now we want to know what's f of a plus 3. That's an a. Ugh. So we got 7 minus 3 times a plus 3. I'm having a hard time with my a's apparently. So the function of a plus 3 is 7 negative 3a. And negative 3 times 3 is minus 9. So the function of a plus 3 is going to be negative 3a, and 7 minus 9 is negative 2. Okay? All right. Next one, number 8. If f of x equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, find in simplest form f of x plus 4. So now we have, let's just put this, excuse me, straight in. F of x plus 4 is going to equal 2 times, wherever we see x now, it's x plus 4 squared plus 3 times x plus 4 minus 1. So now we're going to go through and basically just simplify this whole thing. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do here is FOIL this out, right? So we got x plus 4 times x plus 4. We've got to multiply this out. 4 times 4 is 16. That's 4x. Put our 0 in to hold the place. X times 4 is 4x. X times x is x squared. So this gives us 16, 8x, and x squared. So this is going to equal 2 times x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus 3 times x plus 4 minus 1. Now I'm going to distribute through to both of these. So f of x plus 4 equals 2x squared plus 16x plus 32 plus 3x plus 12 minus 1. And then now our last step is to just collect like terms, right? So we only have 1x squared. We got 16x and 3x, that's 19x. And then 32 and 12 is what, 44, right? 44 minus one more is 43. Okay? All right, so for C, we got f of x. Really only we're going to do is just change all the x's to negative x's. So we got f of negative x equals 2 times negative x squared plus 3 times negative x minus 1. F of negative x. Negative x times negative x is positive x, so that's 2x squared. 3 times negative x is minus 3x, and then minus 1. And there's that one. Okay? 13, find a function f of x equals ax plus b for which f of 2 equals 1 and f of negative 3 equals 11. So basically, we know that if we plug 2 in for x, out should come 1 for y, and if we plug negative 3 in for x, out comes 11 for y. Okay? So now it's just find a function. So basically we're just finding the equation of a line that goes through these 2 points, right? So back to finding slope. 11 minus 1 over negative 3 minus 2 gives us 10 over negative 5, which is negative 2 is our slope. So now we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Right? So we now know that the m is negative 2. And now we can simply choose either one of these points. I'm going to just choose 2 and 1 because that seems to be a little bit nicer. So x minus 2 and y minus 1. And now we simplify. Y minus 1 equals negative 2x plus 4. Add 1 to both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. All right? Okay. One more. 16. Given f of x equals ax plus b over x, f of 1 equals 1 and f of 2 equals 5. Find constants a and b. All right. So we know that if we plug in 1, out comes 1. If we plug in 2, out comes 5. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try f of x. So this is the y, right? So we've got 1 equals a times x, which is 1. So that's just a, let's do this. A times 1 plus b over x, which we know is 1. Okay, so this really is 1 equals a plus b. Okay, then we can also plug in the 2 and the 5. So we know that 5 goes in for the y. So 5 equals a times x, which is 2, plus b over x, which is 2. Okay, so here's the stuff that we plugged in. Ugh, that was bad. Parentheses, there we go. Okay, so then this is just going to equal 5 equals 2a plus, let's do this, let's do 1/2 b. Okay, so look, now we have two equations with two unknowns. So now we can either substitute, or we can line them up and eliminate, and it's your call. Let's do this. I'm going to line them up and let's eliminate. 1 equals a plus b, right? If, so we can get rid of the fraction at the same time here, if I multiply this by -2, that's going to give us -10 equals -4a, and then -2 times 1/2 is -1b, right? And then when we add these together, those go away. A minus 4a is -3a. 1 minus 10 is -9 equals -3a. Divide by -3. A is 3. And then now that we know that a is 3, we can plug that in up here. 1 equals 3 plus b. Subtract 3 from both sides. B is -2. And we're done. Okay? Now, some people would have said, I would not have thought of that. That's okay. Let's do this. Let's take the original equations here. And we got 1 equals a plus b. And then we also have 5 equals 2a plus 1/2 b. Let's do this. Let's solve one of these for either a or b. It doesn't really matter. So let's subtract b from both sides. So we got 1 minus b equals a. And now you can take this and substitute it in for this a right here. So we get 5 equals 2 times 1 minus b plus 1/2 b. 5 equals 2 minus 2b plus 1/2 of b. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3 equals -2b plus 1/2 b. So -2 plus 1/2 is -1.5 b. So we divide both sides by -1.5. And we get, let's see, that b equals -2, just like we got there. And then we can plug the -2 back in. I would plug it into this one. It'll work for this one too, but it's probably easier with this one. So we go 1 equals a plus b, which we now know is -2. Add 2 to both sides. And we get a equals 3 that way. Okay, so either way we get a equals 3 and b equals -2. All right? Okay, that's all we have for the 3B assignment. If you have any further questions on this or any other problems from the assignment, please feel free to ask. Thanks.